Hey guys, happy Sunday, July 26th. I just want to talk about my endeavors so far over the weekend. Um, I went to a artist jam thing at a local comic book shop here in Omaha, Nebraska, and this is where I live. Um, and I kind of noticed some things that were kind of off. At first, I had a really good time. Brought snacks, drawed, um, talked to people, and at first I didn't really think anything of it. But like nowadays, now looking back on it, I don't think I'm gonna go back. They have this artist jam thing every third weekend of the month. This month they had it on the fourth month because of a convention that people were going to in Omaha that I didn't really know about. But I don't really go to a lot of conventions anyways. So, and so I showed up, and it was completely free. You know, seemed cool and everything. But then I just left, and I just kind of like was like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna go back. And the reason why is just because like I know on YouTube right now a lot of people is saying that everybody's acting strange and everything, and I sort of got that feeling when I left too. Like there was these two people that like sat at the same table where I was at. They weren't very talkative. It was kind of like I would have to talk to them, but it was like a dentist pulling teeth for them to even talk or reciprocate to me. And I'm just wondering, well, if you're at an artist jam where the primary thing is to talk, why wouldn't you talk to people? Or why wouldn't you at least talk to people that are talking to you? So, I mean, I brought artwork that I've worked on. I brought some model making stuff, and, because I love making models. I'm not a very good sketch artist. I'm not like a master sketch artist or anything like that. Never have been. I do sketch though because I do enjoy it. It's fun to me. But but yeah, like I brought along like a diorama piece for that I made for like my 6-inch action figures, 6 and 7 inch action figures. And the weirdest thing is like when I brought it out because I just displayed it, right then and there. Um, it's like these people they were shocked. It's like they never saw a toy before or like anything like that. And I'm like, you're at a comic book store. The mostly what they sell is toys. So why do you act like you've never seen a toy before? Are you trying to act cool in front of nerds? Like I never understood people that try to act cool in front of nerds. So because I don't give a shit about acting cool in general, but like especially in front of nerdy people, I just kind of think we're all in the same boat with what we're into. Why can't we just? It's like that song, from War. Why can't we be friends? 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 But of course we can't. And I've worked in a comic book store before, and like it kind of brought back memories that like with comic book stores, there's always these types of people that show up. There's just the really really odd people, and there's just these people that just have zero social skills whatsoever. Like they can't like I don't know why they want to be around people because they never interact, and when they do interact, it's always like some sort of weird passive aggressive shade. It's always like, oh, you feel confident in yourself? Let me try to tear you down a bit. I'm like, dude, like how many wedgies did you suffer in high school to start making you act like a complete and total cunt? Like, I know that that's a horrible word to say. I know it's a shitty thing to say, but it's fucking true. And if you guys have worked in comic book stores, have been to comic book stores, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I feel like I had to make this video just to get it off my chest because it's like this is what I've been going through my entire life. My entire life I've been into, comics, figures, movies, video games, just all that stuff. But just for whatever reason with comic books, it's worse than the gun community. It's worse than the knife community. It's worse than the stripper community. It's worse than the OF community. It's worse than all of that, dude. It's just like a lot of it's like just this weird dick measuring, like oh, look how big my collection is, or something like that, or like, oh, look at how good I am at drawing, or something like that, or like, everything is just a fucking competition with these people. And it's weird because I don't think they're really into competing. They're not into sports. I think if you're into competition, you have to be into sports on some level. I mean, any sport. Pick a sport. Everything from football, American football, to soccer, to baseball, to even professional wrestling. And it's like, I mean, professional wrestling is the most nerdy sport out there. But it's like they're not even into that. They're just into like just sitting on a high horse, like just not interacting with people. I mean, there was even the weirdest thing too is like this is a big room. Okay, they use this room for like Magic the Gathering, um, uh, tournaments and stuff like that. So like it was a good sized room, and some of the people were just sitting clear across, absolutely away from people, and I'm like, that right there just tells me like, well, what the fuck are you doing? If you wanted to draw and if you wanted to make art, you could have just done that at home, and be silent. Like, but this is you're supposed to talk to people, and then unfortunately it left me with talking mostly to the guy who basically kind of orchestrated the whole thing. Like, he seemed like a nice guy and everything like that, but like at the same time, it's like if you were to talk to him, a lot of his replies were just like short, like single syllable, one phrase lines, like yeah, that's great, yeah, 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 I'm listening. And it's like, and I remember that. I remember working at a comic book shop, and then the owner, like, I would try to talk to him. He'd be doing something else because obviously he doesn't really want to listen to me. And he's like, I'm listening. I'm like, okay, well, number one, if you're actually listening, you don't just say I'm listening, and number two, it's like, if you don't want to have a conversation, then just say it, or just, do something. Don't make me just like sit here, I hate when people do that. When people do that, I think it's like a narcissistic thing, and I think it's totally based off of like power and control. It's like, unfortunately, a lot of these nerds, they're just not good people. They've been bullied, their entire lives. They've been ostracized from a lot of different shit, and it's like once they get into this comic community, that's what they cling on to for dear life, and they don't let anyone else get in, even if they are legitimately into it. And with me, I've always been an outsider. But the weirdest thing is that like I've been going to this particular comic book shop ever since I was 14. So I've been going there for like over 20 years, and they still every single time I walk through the door, they still treat me like I'm a fucking stranger. They still like it's not friendly. It's not enjoyable. Shit in there is way too overpriced, and not in great condition either. Like they had like old like vintage Star Wars vehicles and stuff that just was like yellowed plastic, looked like it would shatter if you looked at it the wrong way, and like they were selling it for like a shit ton of money, like, and I get it, like that stuff's expensive and it's highly collectible, and that's just kind of how Star Wars has always been, and it's rare, but it's like at the same time you're also dealing with loose merchandise, and like you don't want to hear somebody throw out an offer, so you just keep it on the shelves until it finally sells. But then it's like weird because it's like sometimes the shit doesn't even sell. I mean, I've seen shit there still there from when I was 14 years old. So I don't think I'm gonna go back. I had a good time though. It was a little discouraging, but um, I don't think I'm going to go back. My advice to you, if you're into comics, and if you're, if you're kind of in a position like I am, where you're sort of an outsider, just don't go to comic book shops. You know, they charge you way too damn much. People are very unfriendly, and just just stay away from them. Anyways, have a good Sunday, and see you later.